Welcome to the Stack Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast, where we go over all of the top stories shared on our website, stack.com or stack3d.com from the past 7 days. Last week was, I feel like I say this every week, but last week was one of our busiest weeks to date, and especially in terms of traffic. We had a massive tens of thousands of users tune in, and it was definitely a jam-packed week. We're going to kick this episode of the podcast off with news from Redcon1, who is our two-time Brand of the Year winner from 2017 and 2018, and was a top 5 for 2019. But to start the year, the brand has shared some pretty exciting news. While it still has its MRE Lite RTD coming soon, which is as it sounds by the name, the RTD version of the brand's MRE Lite protein powder. It turns out Redcon1 is working on another beverage product that is due to release very soon called FUBAR, which is an energy shot. It's going to be the company's first real shot format product, separate from the Total War RTD. It's going to be a compact, basically just a compact energy shot in the usual fashion, packing a bunch of ingredients for energy and focus. So this isn't going to be just an energy shot as per the category. It's going to be an energy and focus enhancing shot. We don't know what any of the ingredients are going to be. We only know that what it's going to look like is going to have a nice bright red bottle with a bright yellow top, so very different from any other of Redcon1 supplements, but you can check that out on the site. Just search Redcon1 or FUBAR. And the other bit of news we got last week from Redcon1 is the announcement of its gainer. Now, the gainer market is very, very, very popular. A lot of big brands are in it. However, we have yet to see Redcon1 get into the space. Last week, it announced that it is finally coming out with a mass protein or weight gainer shake, whatever you want to call it. But it's not going to be a traditional release. The brand has actually partnered with its athlete Brian Shaw, the incredibly famous and multiple-time strongest man champion Brian Shaw, and they've come together to create basically a 1,000-calorie real food gainer shake. The details are pretty solid on this one, despite the fact that it still looks like it's a while away from release. But what we've been able to gather so far is that, again, it will have 1,000 calories per serving. It'll be, I think, broken down from that as 50 grams of protein, 150 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of fat, with, as mentioned, the ingredients all being real food based, very similar to Redcon1's MRE meal replacement. The protein is going to be coming from beef and whey isolate. There'll also be whole eggs in the protein, in the gainer, which also adds as a good source of fats, and the carbohydrates, which is the highest macro of the lot at 150 grams per serving. That's coming from yams and rice. So again, it's a very well-rounded, very just comprehensive real food gainer from, as mentioned, Brian Shaw and Redcon1. We don't know how this one is going to be branded, if it's going to have like a unique little change to its look, being the fact that it's put together in partnership with Brian Shaw. And we also don't know the flavors just yet, but Shaw himself tried and reviewed 5 on his YouTube channel, which is where this partnership was kind of announced with Redcon1. And those 5 flavors were strawberry cheesecake, cookies and cream, peanut butter cookie, and your traditional chocolate and vanilla. He did also mention that these aren't the final flavors, so while they have been tested and did give nice feedback, those aren't necessarily going to be the 5 the product is launched with. Those are just the 5 that he's trialing the supplement with. From Redcon1, we jump to the original lifestyle brand and the company that's just made mountains of noise since hitting the market, and that is Ghost. None other than Ghost. Last week, we actually finally got around to reviewing their fat burner, Ghost Burn. Now, we had been wanting to do this since the product hit the market early last year, purely because we heard good things, or relatively good things, about Ghost first entry into the fat burner market with infrared, which was launched much earlier on in the brand's life, but it was since discontinued. Ghost Burn came about early last year, launched in Australia as well as the US through their website, and we were kind of waiting to just find some time to give it a full review. That's sort of when we review fat burners, we run them for about a minimum of 4 weeks, and so we finally got a good month to give this one a go, and I personally was not disappointed. Not too surprisingly, Ghost tends to put together some pretty solid formulas. Ghost Size is our favorite creatine on the market. Also one of our top-rated muscle building products overall. Their Ghost Vegan, their vegan protein powder, is what we consider the best tasting plant-based vegan protein on the market. And then you have Ghost Pump, which we rank as the best stimulant-free pump pre-workout on the market. So it's not too surprising that Ghost delivered with Ghost Burn, which we ranked as our second favorite fat burner on the market, behind Core Burn, which we reviewed a few months ago. Ghost Burn just delivers in every area, basically. You get a good dose of energy with a touch of mental focus. The thermogenesis on this one is pretty damn good, or while it is a bit like short-lived, like it kicks in, you get that heat, you get that sweat going, and it does fade a bit. It is very strong right to start. And the appetite suppression on this one was also, like, it's hard to explain. Appetite suppression, the brands always promise it, but it very rarely comes through. With Ghost Burn, it was just stopped craving things as much, or even I personally have a cheat meal every week, every 2 weeks, and Ghost Burn just took that, I guess, that want, or even that interest, or even that desire at all to have anything outside of the regular diet. So it was interesting. It was just, like I said, it was a very well-rounded experience. The only knock that I had was that I would have preferred the energy to be a bit stronger. It was relatively good on the first week, but in that second week, when that tolerance kind of built up, it just didn't pack that punch as much as we have in others, specifically Core Burn, which is our top-rated fat burner from Core Nutritionals. That one has very similar thermogenesis, not so good in the appetite department, very good overall in terms of accelerating weight loss, and the energy on Core Burn is just that little bit stronger. But to be honest, Ghost Burn is just not something you'll be disappointed in. It just delivers on all fronts, and definitely give it a try if you're a fat burning fan, or on the lookout for a solid stimulant fat burner. As mentioned, we don't review them all that often, just because when we take them, we don't review any pre-workouts, we don't review any nootropics, we don't review anything with caffeine in it, at least when we're trying to determine effectiveness, purely because we want to try and get the 100% experience of the supplement, of the fat weight loss supplement, and that's what we do with Ghost Burn. And so yeah, you can check out the full review on our site. Again, it did not disappoint. Ghost really came through with just another well-formulated, top-rated competitor. Again, not too surprisingly, but quickly following our review, Ghost actually announced a new version, or a separate spin-off version of Ghost Burn, called Ghost Burn Black. Now, this is going to launch globally. It's going to be a special limited edition version of Ghost Burn. So it's going to have a slightly different look to it, and it's also going to have a slightly different mix of ingredients. Now, it will still have like the core features in terms of like the main ingredients. I believe you still get that solid 3 grams of carnitine. That's about 2 servings. I will actually add that when we did our Ghost review, we split the dose up, so we have one morning, one afternoon, or one before workout, one later. That's just because most pre-workouts recommend that. Ghost Burn doesn't say that on the label, but we did do it that way. Either way, for the new Ghost Burn Black, they've packed 3 grams of carnitine per 2 scoop serving. So a lot of the highlights are still the same as the regular Ghost Burn, with just a few tweaks. The brand has added Garcinia to further help with appetite, which is interesting because, as I said, the appetite was one of the best highlights of the regular version. And they've also added GBB to further enhance sweat, which, as I also mentioned, was another area Ghost did pretty well in. So they seem to be, I guess, enhancing two areas where they already did quite well with for Ghost Burn. So Ghost Burn Black should be quite the experience, but I will also mention that they have removed some things, or at least made a few other changes. So the 300 milligrams that you get per 2 scoop serving, or 150 per single scoop, has been switched from caffeine anhydrous to natural caffeine. And there is, I believe they swapped out black pepper and synephrine, and they've added in, well, as I mentioned, they added in the Garcinia and the GBB, but yeah, they took out the black pepper and synephrine. They also added one other feature, I believe was estrogen, which is the well-known absorption enhancer at 50 milligrams per 2 scoop serving. So again, that one is limited edition. I believe it's launching, I didn't get an exact week or date, but it is coming soon. It'll be available globally, so you'll be able to get it on Ghost various sites in Europe, US, and Australia. And it will also be available at GNC. It's going to have 2 flavors. You've got pineapple and a Welch's collab, so very similar to what we've seen with for other products in the Ghost lineup. They've teamed up with Welch's again for an authentic Welch's grape flavor, and those will be the 2 tastes you get for the Ghost Burn Black. And again, that will be coming soon. Don't know exactly when, but follow the site. We'll make sure we keep you in the loop on that one. From Ghost, we jump over to another brand that's getting into the limited edition time of year, and that is Myoblocks. Now, Myoblocks, if you're not familiar with them, a great brand, well put together, great brand marketing and branding. For as long as we've known them, they have done limited edition versions of their products multiple times per year, and they do these series, well, these types of series, almost annually. So each year they'll do a special series of a select few products, and these special products in the series will have a nice theme to them, very similar, very consistent, but different from the regular versions of the products, and they'll have added ingredients, an alternative formula, but still with the same goals in mind. One of the lines that Myoblocks has had for quite some time is the XO series. It's coming back for 2020, and it's going to consist of 2 special edition supplements. There'll be a special edition Blow, which is the brand's pump pre-workout, and there'll be a special edition Skywalk, which is Myoblocks' very well known focus enhancer or nootropic supplement. Now we don't know. We don't know exactly when they're going to go live. I believe it's in the first few weeks of this month. Again, we don't know specifically, just that it'll be within the next few weeks. We do, however, know what's in them. And so to get a bit more excitement going for the limited edition XO versions, they confirmed that the changes that you're going to get with the special edition Blow and the special edition Skywalk, you can check out the individual formulas and facts panels on the site. Just go to stack.com, type in Myoblocks. It'll be one of the most recent stories, but basically for Skywalk, they're making just a handful of changes, keeping a lot of things the same, but adding in a few extra ingredients with theobromine. I think you also got cat's claw in there, but basically just a few additional ingredients to further enhance and improve that already reliable focus supplement. But as for Blow, the special edition XO series Blow, that one's going to feature an entirely different formula. While it's still geared towards enhancing pumps for your workout, it is just a completely different set of ingredients. Again, Skywalk keeps pretty much most of the original version's ingredients and adds a few in the mix. Blow is far from that. They've brought together an entirely new set with pine bark, betaine, citrulline, and S7, and they're all pretty well dosed. Specifically, the citrulline, you get 8 grams per maximum serving. And there's also the betaine's dosed at 6 grams. So these are some very simple, short and sweet formula, but solid dosing. It should provide a pretty solid pump based on the formula. But you can check those out on the site. But in addition to the XO series Blow and Skywalk Myoblocks has coming later this month, they're also launching the first ever limited edition version of their muscle builder Contra. Now, this isn't a part of the XO series. It's just a separate spin-off. It's called Contra Gain Train, and you can check out that label on the site as well. And very much like Skywalk, it comes with a lot of the same ingredients as the original Contra. You've got ashwagandha, dim, and rimestane, and they've added a few things to further enhance the experience. And on for the Contra Gain Train, Myoblocks has added the S7, which is S7 pump blend, which is it's a pump enhancing ingredient or a pump enhancing blend, and they're throwing in 11 ATP for performance. So it's really a very interesting set of additions there. And another thing Myoblocks fans will notice with this one is that they've gone with a fully transparent label. So the regular or original Contra, the other version you can find on the market, that one lists a lot of its ingredients in blends, so you don't know exactly how much of each thing you get per serving. The new Contra Gain Train, which is as the XO series, is only going to be available for a limited time. That one lists out every single ingredient with its exact dose, so you know exactly how much you get per serving, which is a nice change of pace, and it's something that pretty much most new brands that hit the market do. So it's good to see Myoblocks switching things up for the limited edition version. Again, you can check out all of those limited products. It's a lot of details in a short amount of time, but you can check out all of those things and further detail and more explanation on the site stack.com or stack3d.com, and just search up Myoblocks. Moving on to our last two stories for this episode, we actually have news from one of my just personal favorite, one of Stack's top rated energy drinks, and that is 3D Energy. So the beverage from Christian Guzman. They announced this past week that they're coming out with a new flavor. Now, every time they do this, I just get extremely excited because, like a few other energy drinks on the market, I have yet to try a 3D Energy I didn't like. Since the original white, blue, and red, they've just been insanely good, from the cotton candy to the Fanta-like orange to the Mountain Dew-like green. They've just consistently delivered great tasting flavors. But the next one is, according to 3D, is going to be potentially their best tasting flavor to date. Now, as cool as that is, and as exciting as that is, the design of the can is probably what's appealing to me more. It features a silver can design. So not anything like, as you'd expect, nothing like the other ones, which, to be honest, again, it doesn't sound like a huge detail, but because the brand always has colors relating to its flavors, I'm very curious as to what the hell this is going to be. Combined with the fact that they've only delivered great tasting flavors, this mysterious color, and potentially what they're saying could be their best flavor to date, I'm just extremely hyped. I'll be grabbing this as soon as it comes out, and I believe it's going to be dropping. They haven't provided an exact launch date or month or week, but it's said to be coming soon, and it will be available from, I think it's going to be available in all its usual places, including its retail partner GNC. So you can check out that in closer detail on the site, and I suggest you do that because the can just looks really cool, and I suspect that it would pop even better when you have it up close and in hand. And our last story, this comes from a UK brand, and I want to put a lot of focus on this because purely because I think it deserves a lot of focus, and I'm very excited to see what comes of this. Now, if you can cast your mind back to, I guess, late 2018, early 2019, a brand that kind of just broke out onto the scene was Biohack, from the very informative fitness personality and fitness informer Court Cooper. He's been in the industry a while, very smart man, very informative, very educational. Now, his brand Biohack launched, as I said, late 2018, early 2019. It made a lot of noise. He put a lot of heavy doses into all of his supplements, and for the few months that it was just pumping and pushing and launching, it just got a lot of attention. And we got to try a lot of those supplements, and they were absolutely insane. Just an example of some of the things you got in there, it had citrulline dosed at 10 grams, it had glycerol dosed at 6 grams. So these were all very big dosages of reliable ingredients. Basically just formulas that just stood out from the pack. But since that launch and that kind of burst, it did kind of lose attention. We stopped seeing news, we stopped seeing announcements, and while that's all in the past now, the brand is looking to revamp and relaunch essentially in the coming months. And all that we've been told is that despite how solid all of its previous supplements were, including its stim pre-workout and its unique intra and its pump pre-workout, the new line of supplements coming from Biohack is going to be one step further. And as I said, the brand already has or had huge dosages in all of its supplements, which I just can't. I'm just pretty much like with 3D. I'm just excited to see what on earth Court and Biohack have come up with. Because if he's talking beyond what he had already done, even bigger dosages, even more well put together formulas, you just can't help but be hyped. I mean, I'm curious just to see what kind of pre-workouts what kind of supplements he comes out with, if he's going to bring out more pre-workouts, which you have to imagine he will. But just the quality and formulas, no details have been revealed, just that Biohack is making a huge comeback and it's going to be worth looking out for. I guess one of the main reasons that I am hyped is because that Biohack just stuck with me when they hit the market, because at a time where a lot of people were coming out with the same kind of formulas and the same, I guess, combinations of ingredients and dosages, it's always exciting to see someone trying something different, even if it's pushing the doses too high, or, not too high, but, just pushing with a broad range of solid dosages, such as the 8 to 10 grams of citrulline. It's just interesting to see, and the products that we tried of his were just amazing, and so I just have to imagine that when he's saying, him and Court and Biohack are saying they've bought something bigger and better, I'm excited to see what he's actually cooked up and what they're going to be hitting the market with. More details will be shared on all of this in the coming weeks. Again, I don't have anything other than what I'm being told right now. We'll be sharing it on the site, so as always I suggest just stay tuned to that, whether it be going to the site, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We'll share details, but I just say keep a lookout on that, because if this brand can return and then get that momentum going that it had and just continue it, it is going to be a very fun brand to watch and exciting as well. So for this week's episode, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you come back next week, and we'll have another no doubt loaded episode for you.